In the beautiful, green hills of central Kenya, there was a small village named Kijiji. Located amidst rolling landscapes and abundant wildlife, Kijiji was a place where life moved at its own gentle pace. This village was known for its vibrant community, fertile lands, and rich oral traditions. Among the villagers was a kind-hearted woman named Wamba. She was known for her generosity and warmth, often helping others without expecting anything in return. Her laughter was a melody that brought joy to all who heard it, and her spirit was a beacon of kindness in the village. Wamba lived a simple life with her husband, Kamau, and their 2 children, Nyambura and Karanja. They owned a small but prosperous farm where they grew maize, beans, and various vegetables. The family was well respected in Kijiji, not just for their hard work but for their willingness to lend a hand to anyone in need. Wamba's happiness was rooted in the love of her family and the contentment she found in her everyday life. The children's laughter echoed through the fields as they played, and Kamau's deep, reassuring voice was a constant presence, guiding the family through life's challenges. However, not everyone in the village admired Wamba. One woman, Injeri, harbored deep-seated envy towards her. Injeri's jealousy stemmed from Wamba's seemingly perfect life and the respect she commanded in the community. Injeri had her own struggles and felt overshadowed by Wamba's kindness and success. This envy festered within Injeri, and she often spoke ill of Wamba behind her back, trying to tarnish her good name. Her words were like venom, seeping into the minds of others, creating a rift where there once was unity. One day, as Wamba was returning home from the market, she encountered Injeri on the village path. Injeri's eyes flashed with malice, and she seized the opportunity to confront Wamba. "Wamba," she spat, "you're nothing but a hypocrite. You pretend to be so kind and generous, but we all know it's just an act. You're no better than the rest of us." Taken aback by the sudden attack, Wamba tried to reason with Injeri, her voice calm and steady despite the hurt she felt. "Injeri, why do you say these things? I've never done anything to harm you. If I've wronged you in any way, please tell me so I can make amends." But Injeri's anger was beyond reason. Her insults grew harsher, cutting into Wamba's heart like a knife. In a moment of unchecked rage, she struck Wamba across the face. The sound of the slap echoed through the quiet path, and for a moment, both women stood in stunned silence. Humiliated and hurt, Wamba returned home in tears. Kamau and their children comforted her, urging her to let it go and not let Injeri's bitterness affect her. Kamau's strong arms enveloped her in a protective embrace, and Nyambura and Karanja clung to her, their innocent eyes filled with concern. "Mama, don't be sad," Karanja said softly. "We love you so much." However, the seed of anger had been planted in Wamba's heart, and she found it difficult to forgive and forget. As days turned into weeks, her thoughts grew darker, and she began to contemplate revenge. She felt a burning need to restore her dignity and teach Injeri a lesson she would never forget. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the village, Wamba sat alone, lost in thought. She remembered hearing stories about an old woman named Nyakio, who lived on the outskirts of the village. Nyakio was rumored to have knowledge of ancient spells and curses, passed down through generations. Desperate for a solution, Wamba decided to seek her out. Nyakio's hut was a small, dilapidated structure hidden deep within a dense forest. The path leading to it was overgrown with wildflowers and thorny bushes, adding to its mysterious aura. When Wamba finally arrived, she found Nyakio sitting outside, surrounded by strange herbs and potions. The old woman's eyes were sharp and piercing, yet there was a hint of warmth in them as she regarded Wamba. "What brings you here, child?" Nyakio asked, her voice a raspy whisper. Wamba hesitated, then poured out her heart, explaining her plight and asking for a way to get back at Injeri. Nyakio listened intently, her expression unreadable. When Wamba finished, the old woman stood up and entered her hut, returning moments later with a small, intricately carved wooden box. Inside this box, Nyakio said, is a magical snake that will do your bidding. Release it near Njeri's home, and it will cause misfortune to befall her. But be careful, for revenge is a double-edged sword. What you send out into the world may come back to you. Blinded by her desire for vengeance, Wamba ignored Nyakio's warning. That night, under the cover of darkness, she approached Njeri's home and released the snake near the entrance. She watched as it slithered into the shadows, feeling a grim satisfaction at the thought of Njeri's impending misfortune. The next morning, news spread through the village that Njeri had been bitten by a snake and had fallen gravely ill. Wamba's heart raced with conflicting emotions, satisfaction at her success but also a twinge of guilt. As days passed, Njeri's condition worsened, and the village healer struggled to find a cure. The once vibrant woman lay pale and motionless, her life hanging by a thread. Wamba's satisfaction soon turned to fear as strange things began to happen to her own family. Her crops started to wither, her livestock fell ill, and Kamau and the children became plagued with strange ailments. Wamba realized that Nyakio's warning had come true, her act of revenge had unleashed a curse upon her own household. Desperate to undo the damage, Wamba returned to Nyakio, begging for help. Nyakio, with a knowing look in her eyes, said, "The only way to break the curse is to seek forgiveness and make amends for the harm you have caused." She instructed Wamba to find the snake and return it to its box, but more importantly, she needed to seek Njeri's forgiveness. Humbled and remorseful, Wamba set out to find the snake. After days of searching, she finally found it in a clearing near Njeri's home. Carefully, she coaxed it back into the box and returned to Nyakio. With the snake safely contained, Wamba then made her way to Njeri's bedside. With tears in her eyes, Wamba confessed her actions and begged Njeri for forgiveness. Njeri, though weak and in pain, saw the genuine remorse in Wamba's eyes. She took Wamba's hand and, in a voice barely above a whisper, said, "I forgive you." As soon as the words were spoken, the sense of peace washed over Wamba. She returned home, and over time, the misfortunes that had plagued her family began to fade. Her crops flourished once more, her livestock regained their health, then Kamau and the children recovered. From that day forward, Wamba and Njeri became unlikely friends, bound by the lessons they had learned. Wamba realized that revenge had only brought suffering to her and those she loved, and she vowed to live a life of forgiveness and compassion. The village, too, learned from their story, understanding that true strength lies not in seeking vengeance but in extending grace and kindness. As the years passed, Wamba's story became a cherished part of Kijiji's rich oral tradition. Elders would gather the children around the fire, recounting the tale of Wamba and the snake, emphasizing the importance of forgiveness and the destructive power of envy. The village prospered, united by the wisdom gained from the story. One rainy season, a severe drought threatened the village's crops. Panic spread among the villagers as they faced the possibility of famine. But Wamba, drawing from her experience, stepped forward to lead the community in finding a solution. She organized a village meeting, where everyone brainstormed ideas to conserve water and find alternative food sources. Under Wamba's guidance, the villagers worked together, digging wells, planting drought-resistant crops, and sharing resources. Their unity and cooperation paid off, and they managed to survive the drought with minimal losses. The experience brought the community even closer, reinforcing the values of solidarity and mutual support. Wamba's children, Nyambura and Karanja, grew up to be compassionate and wise adults, inspired by their mother's journey. Nyambura became a healer, using her knowledge to care for the sick and injured. She combined traditional remedies with modern techniques, earning the respect and gratitude of the villagers. Karanja took over the family farm, implementing innovative farming practices that increased productivity and sustainability. As Wamba and Kamau grew older, they found joy in watching their children thrive and the village flourish. They often reflected on the lessons they had learned and the strength that had come from overcoming adversity. Wamba's heart swelled with pride and contentment, knowing that she had made a positive impact on her community. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, casting a warm glow over the village, Wamba and Njeri sat together on a wooden bench outside Wamba's home. The air was filled with the sounds of children playing and the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. The two women, now in their twilight years, shared a comfortable silence, their bond stronger than ever. Njeri, Wamba said softly, I am grateful for your forgiveness. It changed my life and taught me the true meaning of strength and resilience. Njeri smiled, her eyes twinkling with wisdom. We have both grown, Wamba. And our story has helped others understand the power of forgiveness and the futility of revenge. We are stronger together as a community when we choose compassion over conflict. Their friendship, born from the ashes of envy and anger, had become a testament to the healing power of forgiveness. The village of Kijiji continued to thrive, guided by the values of unity, empathy, and understanding. Years later, as the village continued to grow and evolve, Wamba's grandchildren and great-grandchildren would listen to the story of their ancestor with wide-eyed wonder. The lessons of the past shaped their present and future, instilling in them a deep sense of empathy and the importance of forgiveness. And so, the legacy of Wamba and her journey from anger to forgiveness continued to inspire, teaching that even in the face of betrayal and hurt, the path of compassion and understanding leads to true strength and lasting peace.